Hi guys, it's me. I'm really sorry my visa appointment videos didn't go up as quickly as I expected them to. Especially the second one was a lot harder to edit than I thought it was going to be, and I've just finished it and it's way longer than I wanted it to be, but it covers everything that I wanted to cover, and so I think that means it's okay. It's okay in my book. This video is going to be about the visa appointment. Now, everyone's visa appointment is going to be a little bit different depending on which consulate you go to, which interviewer you have. It's really kind of luck of the draw process, but I'm just going to go over what happened in mine and some advice that I have for people going into it that stem from my own experiences. But before I get into what I actually did at the appointment, I want to kind of talk a little bit about what to bring to the appointment. So personally, I brought my DS-160 confirmation page, my CVIS payment confirmation page, my visa appointment confirmation page, my DS-2019 that Disney sent me, my passport, obviously, my purse to pay the extra fee afterwards, my supporting documents, which were my offer letter from Disney and my bank statement. Now, during the appointment I actually wasn't asked for either of my supporting documents, but based on what I've heard from other people, people were asked for things that they may or may not have had. Some people have been asked for their offer letter. Some people have also been asked for their proof of student status form. Bank statement proves that you have the $300 that it says on your DS-2019 that you need to provide as personal funds. It also provides supporting proof of address. Your Disney offer letter provides proof that you have been offered a position with Disney and proof of what you'll be doing at Disney, and your proof of student status form proves that you are eligible for the visa. Those are the kind of things that I would recommend that you bring. Now, so I booked my visa appointment for 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was very early and I had to get up very early. Despite the fact that the website recommends you show up 15 minutes early for your appointment, the Melbourne consulate doesn't actually open until 8 AM in the morning. So I didn't realise this at the time, but showing up 15 minutes early was a little bit redundant. And because I'm always over-prepared and always obsessed with not being late, I was actually 15 minutes early for being 15 minutes early for my appointment. So I was actually there at 7:30 AM and the building didn't open until 8. So one piece of advice I have for you is definitely show up 15 minutes early for your appointment, but don't show up so early that you end up waiting for 45 minutes before you're let into the building. We had a few issues with security. Even though we were let into the building at around 10 to 8, we ended up waiting outside the security room for about an extra 15 minutes after the building was open, so we didn't actually start going into security until around 8:15. They started letting us into the security booth in groups of 4. I was the 4th person in line, so I got in the first group of 4. You go in and there's computers off to the side where you need to sign yourself in. So you click what kind of visa you're applying for. It then asks you for your name, passport number, and date of birth, I think. It asks you for a couple of things, just really basic information, and then you confirm it and you get yourself printed a little label that has your name and everything on it. And so you grab that and you go over to the security booth. First they'll ask you for your passport and your DS-160. So you pass those over to them and then they provide you with 2 trays. Someone else will ask you to put all of the rest of your documents into the first tray. In the second tray, you put any personal items that you're not allowed to take with you. Your phone, your handbag. The gentleman in front of me brought sunglasses, headphones, etc. Anything that they won't let you take in, you put in the second tray. Once they've checked that you are in their system, which is why I stress to bring your appointment confirmation page, because when they looked for me in their system, they could not find my appointment. And if I didn't have my appointment confirmation page, they wouldn't have let me inside. So make sure you bring your appointment confirmation page just in case something goes wrong. Once they've like checked you in, they put your little name sticker on the top left hand side of your torso, and then you go through a metal detector to make sure that you've got no metal on you, no weapons, no offensive items. Anyway, you go through, they then scan through both of your trays, including the one with your personal items on it, and you get all of your documents, your passport and your purse back, but the tray with all of your personal items goes in a locker behind the security desk. You're given a number on a lanyard, and that number corresponds to the locker that your stuff is in, so when you come back, when you're done with your appointment, you just give them the number and they'll give you back your things. Then we were taken upstairs in our little group of 4, up an elevator and through another metal detector, but it wasn't in use, so it was just kind of there. And then you're given a ticket with a number on it and sent down to the waiting room. So in the waiting room there are a number of windows. At the Melbourne consulate there are 3 windows. The first 2 are where you begin the process. The third one is the cashier, and all of the other windows, I think it was 4, 5, 6 and 7, are appointment windows, so that you go behind a screen to the appointment windows, and that's where you have your interview. Now in the waiting room there's not really that much to do because you're not allowed to take your phone in with you. There are some magazines, but it's pretty much just waiting. So you go up to the first window and they take your passport, your DS2019, your DS160 and your CVIS payment page. You hand those over and then they take your fingerprints. That portion takes about 3 whole seconds. It was not very long at all. And then you go back and sit down, and then you wait a while and you go up to the appointment window behind the screen, to the appointment window. You take a couple of minutes to speak to the person behind the window. They might ask you for some supporting documents. They'll definitely ask you some questions about what you're doing, how long you're going to be there. They're basically all questions that you actually answered on the DS160 form, so they're just confirming your details, making sure you know what you put down. It's actually surprisingly quick, the amount of time it takes to get the actual interview appointment done. I was so shocked when they turned around and said, we'll mail it to you in 5 days, just go pay a fee and you're done. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure that's it? Don't you have any really hard questions to ask? Aren't you gonna slam on the desk and interrogate me? But no, it's actually really, really quick. So you get sent back to the waiting room where you wait a little while, and then you get called up to the cashier window. This is only for Australians. New Zealanders do not have to pay this fee. So if you're in Australia, you have to do a 3rd step where you go back to the waiting room, you get called up to the window, the cashier window, and they ask you to pay a fee of, I think it was 105 American dollars. Like most of the other things you've had to pay for through Disney and HTH, it's only cash or credit card. Obviously this cash is a new option because you're actually paying in person, but as with everything else you've paid for, it's only credit card. You can't use an EFTPOS card, but as long as your card is associated with a company like Visa or MasterCard, you can just click the credit option and it'll still go through. I personally have a Visa debit and I used it and I just put it on my credit account and it was fine. Obviously you need to make sure that that will work with your card, maybe check with your bank, and if you're unsure just use cash. But I personally knew that my card would work and I didn't want to be carrying around that much money. Once you've paid your fee, you get a receipt, you get your card back. You have to leave your passport with them because they issue your visa, put it in the passport and then mail your passport back to you. You go downstairs, you exchange your lanyard number for all your personal items, and then you get to leave. Yay! That doesn't sound so hard. My appointment, including the time that I was there because I showed up way too early, was an hour and a half. By the time I actually got in to the security booth and then left the building, it was only around 45 minutes. But 90% of that is just waiting. You just sit and you wait. So it's not that difficult as long as you've got everything you need. It shouldn't take that long, and I even made it to class on time afterwards. You then wait maybe around 2 days. It took 2 days for mine to come. You'll get an email from a shipping company called Toll, at least that's the one they use in Victoria, with a tracking number in it, and that is the tracking number for your package with your passport in it. You need to make sure you're either home when the package comes, or you leave a note saying to put it somewhere specific, or that you give them permission to leave it behind without a signature, and they'll just leave it where you tell them to, which is what I ended up doing. I left a note stuck on the door. Once that package arrives, you are done. I just really quickly wanted to add a note here to say that you need to upload your visa to Doc once you're done. Doc, as you remember from my previous videos, is Disney Onboarding Central, which is where you put all your documents. You need to go onto Doc and click visa appointment. First it'll ask you for the date of your visa appointment, so you just chuck that in and submit it. Almost instantly it'll have two new little boxes in Doc. One of them is visa appointment results and the other one is your actual visa. So you click on visa appointment results. There'll be a drop down list that has approved, rejected or reapplying. Obviously you choose the one that suits you. Hopefully you got approved and you can just click approved, and then you pop over to the next boxy thingy, which is your actual visa, and it has a couple of details of the visa. Then you actually have to upload a scan of it, so you need to either scan it at home or go to the library, whatever, scan a copy of it and upload it to Doc, and then you're done. I'll probably go more into detail about what happened at my visa appointment because there were a few interesting incidents that occurred in my blog post, which I will link to down below once I've written it. My next video is going to be on police checks because I somehow completely forgot to make a video on that, even though I completed that process ages ago. But yeah, so my next video is going to be on police checks. I will see you then. Bye!